Back in 2020, while relogic was working on the huge 1.4 update, also known as the Journey's End update, relogic wanted to add an endgame sword that would be extremely powerful, which eventually became the Zenith. But before they decided to go with that sword, they had a completely different one in mind, which was the first Fractal. This would have been the best sword in the game, alongside it having some special effects we haven't seen anywhere else in Terraria. Which is why, in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the story behind the first Fractal, and how you can get it for yourself. Firstly, let's figure out what this sword is exactly, and why it was never fully added into the game. To go along with what was meant to be the final update, relogic wanted to add a super powerful sword that was meant to be unlike any of the other swords currently in Terraria, which is exactly what they did, originally going by the name Summit and Final Fractal, before finally getting the name First Fractal. This sword would deal a 190 base damage through flying versions of your player holding special swords, with some coloring on each one to make it stand out a little more. While this may sound similar to how the Zenith works, it's actually pretty different, with the sword projectiles spawning in from all directions instead of directly from you, and they would actually auto-target enemies near your cursor, making it extremely useful in almost every type of fight possible in Terraria. The auto-targeting ability mixed with its damage would allow you to essentially go AFK in one area, so things like Rod of Discord farms could be just a little bit easier to do. The flying swords the first Fractal makes are also special as well, as unlike the Zenith, which uses the swords you craft it with, instead, the Fractal has 14 extra sword sprites, which aren't used anywhere else in Terraria. Although this sword had a ton of special care put into the development of it, relogic felt like it didn't fit in Terraria well enough, so they decided to scrap it and start over, which is where we would eventually get the well-known Zenith. Luckily though, as of the making of this video, the first Fractal is still in the game's code, so let's move on to how you can get it for yourself. Normally, if you use something like an inventory editor to spawn in the first Fractal, it will disappear once you get in-game, so you have a few options here. Firstly, the easiest way to get the first Fractal is by using one of the many mods that adds it back in as a normal item. For this video, I use the Reobtainable mod, which just adds in the sword with nothing else, but you can also get it in Armament Display, which adds in the sword alongside allowing you to carry your swords on your back. Now, if you want to be able to use the first Fractal in vanilla Terraria, you will need to modify your Terraria client to disable a specific rule, which is normally done using well-known modified clients like Terraria Tweaker 2, and there's even one for mobile based on this Instagram DM I got. But personally speaking, I don't want to go over those programs in this video. I know that if I don't cover it in this video, you guys will just go and try and figure it out yourself, which is fine, but know that you could run into viruses or even mess up your Terraria game. So while you can get it in vanilla Terraria, it's a lot easier and safer to just use one of the mods I covered earlier in this video. That wraps up our look into the first Fractal sword. If you made it this far into the video, let me know by commenting on the summit, and also let me know if you'd want to see this sword added into Terraria fully. Personally speaking, I'm on the same page as relogic, with the idea it doesn't feel like a melee weapon because of its ability to auto-target enemies, but I still think it would be a great addition to the game in some way. Thanks for sticking to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Terraria videos like this in the future. And as always, make sure to have a wonderful day.